Hello, everybody, and happy September. It's time for another of my monthly updates of the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. And I have a lot of things to show you this month. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. First of all, I want to just go through my normal little routine here. So the first thing I like to do is wish you a happy whatever time of year this is, and right now it's just going to be a happy September. So I hope everybody gets in the mood for fall. Everything is going to start being pumpkin spice from here on out until December, so get used to the fall colors, the fall foliage. It's going to cool down finally, and I'm looking forward to this month because I'm going to be turning 47 on September 27th. It's my birthday month, and my father is turning 90 years old in 4 days. He was born September 4th, 1930. And my whole family is getting together to do a special Zoom call. Everybody in my entire family, we're going to have a celebration on Zoom, a Zoom meeting for his 90th birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. So let's sort of go through my normal routine here and remind you of all the different ways you can support me on the web and all the different things that you can enjoy from me on the web. First of all, I want to mention Patreon. It does cost some money to bring you all of the free content that I do bring you. And if you have extra money to spare and you do enjoy the content that I share with you, please consider becoming a Patreon subscriber. And for as little as $1 a month, you can get free rewards in exchange for your support. And for $5 and up, you get even a exclusive bonus podcast called Down the Rabbit Hole. So there's lots of rewards, audio content every month. It's mutually beneficial, and you help us spread our magic, bring you podcasts, bring you my website, and all sorts of terrific things. So consider visiting me over at www.patreon.com/DisneyChris and become a Patreon subscriber. Next thing, if you want to support me in another way, you can purchase a merchandise, and the proceeds also go to help support all of my World Wide Web activities. There's t-shirts, notebooks, stickers, mugs. There's also, not shown in the picture, water bottles, bags, all sorts of extra goodies available in 2 designs and multiple colors, not just the white that's pictured here. So to get to my store, you can go to jcpodcast.threadless.com. I'm also on Instagram. My friend Brian Crawford is now sort of taken charge of the Instagram account, and he's sort of hoping to help me build up some more followers on there. If you'd like to participate in the fun we have over there, we share pretty much a brand new Disney image every day. It's DisneyChris_JC_podcast to follow me on Instagram. And we also provide updates to all the different things going on my website or with my podcasts, so it's a good way to keep up to date with all my activities. Another way you can keep up to date with my activities is on my Facebook group, which is called Jiminy Cricket's Podcast. And if you follow me over there on Facebook, I keep everybody up to date on everything going on, and we also have some fun conversations about Disney and all sorts of terrific fun over there. So go follow me on Facebook. So my normal podcast, which is an audio podcast, is moving right along, and I just released, just a couple hours before recording this right now, a brand new episode today on August 31st. Really, it's early because I planned on releasing it September 1st, but that's why it says all new September. But it's a Nature's Wonderland episode, and we talk all about the history of Nature's Wonderland. And there's lots of fun audio content, music, and all sorts of terrific things. We also recently did an episode in the beginning of August on the classic Disney animated feature Lady and the Tramp, which is also available right now. And coming at the end of September, we're going to do a special episode in tribute, a salute to Haley Mills, a Disney legend, star of many classic Disney live-action films. We'll be talking all about her career with Disney, so that's something to look forward to. And if you want to watch, or listen to, I should say, all of our past podcasts, you can go to jcricketspodcast.blogspot.com and you can find all of our past shows over there. All 126 of them. So in addition to my regular podcast, I also have a video cast which comes out on this very same YouTube channel once a month, and it's more of a news and current events type show called Dateline Jiminy Crickets. We took the month of August off because my co-host went away and we decided to just sort of take a little summer break, but we're coming back this month with a brand new episode sometime around the middle of September. And also we have our exclusive podcast just for our Patreon subscribers, and also if you support us on PayPal as a monthly donator, we offer the same rewards there as well. So for $5 and up, you get a bonus podcast called Down the Rabbit Hole, and it's a roundtable, loose discussion where we just sort of have a chit-chat, and wherever the conversation leads is wherever the conversation goes. That's why we call it Down the Rabbit Hole. So lots of great things that I love to share with you all for helping support all of the things that we do. On my website this month, and you'll find the first entry, which I just posted before recording this, for my Supercalifragilistic September, which is part of my Song of the Day, where I post a Disney song on my website every day, 365 days a year. And for the month of September, every single song is going to be a Sherman Brothers song. So if you want to enjoy some fantastic Sherman Brothers music this month, check out my website, DisneyChris.com, and on my homepage, you'll find a new song every day, and you can also go to the archive page and go back and listen to all the previous songs. Not just for this month, but for all this year and the past 2 years. There's an archive where you can go listen to all the previous songs of the day. So, let's get to the main reason why you came, and that is for an update of the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. And I have a lot of stuff to go over with you this time. I have been very busy updating my site, and you might not see a lot of new audio tracks that were added this year. I'm sorry, this year, yes. This past month, not so much. But I have added a few things, and I'm going to show you those. But then I'm going to also show you a major project that I've been working on to update the website, and it's sort of the reason why the actual audio tracks have been a little slow recently. But you'll understand when I show you what's going on. So I've been very busy, even though I haven't been editing that much audio. But let me go over all of that with you right now. So here's my website. And we're on the first page I want to show you, which is Chapter 2, Hometown USA. And I'm just going to quickly show you all of the tracks that I added in August, so you can see if you missed any. There's 3 tracks that I added to this page. This is the Mickey Mouse Club Newsreel. On the original Mickey Mouse Club, they had a little segment every few days back in the 50s on the old black and white series where they sort of did a spoof, not really a spoof, but an homage to the newsreels that they used to do back in the old days. But this was sort of a for children by children version, and a lot of the stories focused on Disneyland. And this is a really fun vintage little news segment about the horses in Disneyland, specifically the horse-drawn streetcars. So I decided to include that on my Town Square chapter. So that's track 7. Then way further down at track 86, it's a track I keep talking about because I keep tweaking it, but I made a little change. Oh no, I'm skipping ahead. I'm thinking of another thing that's on the next chapter. This is also another newsreel. This is a one about the Disneyland Railroad. So since I have all sorts of railroad related things on this chapter, I included that over here as well. So it's another Mickey Mouse newsreel. It's about 1 minute and 45 seconds long, and it's all about the Disneyland Railroad from the 1950s. And then one more track I added, and this is all new. I added all the isolated sound effects for the Primeval World diorama, with no music in the background, just the various sound effects. You can listen to all the different, very unique sounds that are part of that diorama. So the next chapter that I added something to is Main Street. And I basically added the exact same track that I just mentioned to Main Street, which is that newsreel about the horse-drawn streetcars. So that's right here, track 9. It's the same exact track that's on chapter 2, because the streetcars sort of are both a part of Town Square and a part of Main Street. I included it on both chapters. And then the thing I was trying to mention earlier, a minute ago, it's actually on this page. I keep tweaking this track. It's my Chinatown track. I added an extra song, so I increased the length by about 2 minutes. It's the same thing, but it's a little bit longer. I added some extra music to it. So, just wanted to mention that in case you haven't checked that out yet. So the next chapter is chapter 6, and there's 2 things on there that I changed. That's the Adventureland chapter. Again, with the newsreel, the Mickey Mouse Club newsreels, I added one that talks about the Jungle Book. Not the Jungle Book, the Jungle Cruise. I'm skipping over my words tonight. And that's track number 79. Right here. Mickey Mouse Club newsreel, Jungle River Ride. So same idea as those other 2, but this one talks about the Jungle Cruise. And then one other thing I did is I added some additional music to this long track that ends the chapter. Inspired by adventure, songs from Disney animated classics. I added a couple extra things from some old Goofy shorts that sort of take place in Africa from the 40s. I think one's called the African Safari or something like that. But it made the track about 12 minutes longer. So otherwise it's the same thing. It's just a little longer than what used to be there. So the next chapter I added to is the Christmas chapter, which is chapter 23, Christmas in Disneyland. And I just added one little thing which I thought would be fun to include. And this chapter is done. I mean, there's nothing coming soon or anything. Everything is done, but I just decided to add one more extra thing. It's track number 80, and it is the Tokyo Disneyland variation of the Country Bear Christmas show. In Tokyo, they call it the Jingle Bell Jamboree. So I decided to include that because it's quite different from the one in that used to be in Disneyland, California. And the other thing is, it's still playing in Tokyo. They still run it every year. So the next chapter and the last chapter that I added something new to is chapter 27, Disneyland and TV Land. And it's all going to make sense to you in a minute, because I'm going to show you what's up with all these Mickey Mouse Club newsreels that you added. Well, if you want to listen to all of them in one chunk, it's track number 17, and that's why I added it to all the, divided them up and added them to all the other chapters. But track number 17 is a track that covers all of the Mickey Mouse Club newsreels right here, track 17, and I think there's 4 of them, or maybe 5 altogether. And so they're all right here. So that's why I added them to the other chapters, because I had finished adding them to this, so I thought, well, maybe I should include them on the individual chapters for the different parts of Disneyland that this covers. So I split it up and divided it on those other pages as well, if that makes any sense. Also, further up, track 3, this was a coming soon, and I finished it. It's the entire opening segment of the very first episode of the Disneyland TV series. I edited all the audio. It sounds really great. I cleaned it up and took out a lot of editing glitches from the 50s and took out all the background hissing and made it sound really nice and sharp and clear, and it's wonderful. And it's the complete version. Before, I had an abridged version that was about 5 minutes long, and this version is the full 20, almost 24 minutes long. So one last thing that I added new this past month is way down in sort of the middle of the chapter. I have a whole section of all the various different opening title audio for all the different variations of the Wonderful World of Disney. And I decided to add the most recent version from 2015. So this is brand new too. Just added this a few weeks ago. So that's everything new that's been added to the website as far as new audio. But in addition to that, I completely have been going through all of my middle chapters, which is chapters 7 through 18, and redoing them and setting them up for all of the new content that I plan to add in the future. Because if you have been following me closely, you know that I had been working on chapters 1 through 6 and 19 through 27, the beginning and ending chapters, and I kept saying at some point I'm going to go in and work on those middle chapters 7 through 18, and I finally started working on that, and I've got all the images ready, and I started writing all the liner notes for everything. And let me show you what I've added so far. There's 3 chapters that I completed as far as adding all the, setting it up for all the new content that will be coming. The first one is New Orleans Square. I had 38 tracks on this chapter before now, and now there's, I think, 136. Or maybe there's 125. I know one of the chapters, I think Frontierland has 136, and it had 35, so I added 101 extra tracks. But that's not, the content isn't there yet. I just set it up with places, markers that say coming soon. I still have to edit it all. It's going to take me a few years to do this, but I'm just getting it ready so you know what's going to eventually be added to the site. And here it is. I redid all the images. I wrote brand new liner notes, which are these little blurbs that correspond with each track. So everything, even though the track isn't there, you can read this and know what it's going to be. And if it says coming soon, it's not, the audio isn't available yet, but if you see one of these gray bars, it is currently available. So there's a lot that's coming soon. But now you get to see all of the things I have in my bag of tricks. and you can see what eventually is going to get added to the site. I'm not going to go through all of this. You're welcome to go read it yourself. It's there for anybody. But when I add the audio is when I'll explain in more detail what everything is. But I'm just going to sort of scroll through these and let you see all the pictures and everything. And then you can go back on your own and check it out and see what's coming soon. So this is the first of 3 chapters that I have added the finished setup for. And I'm still working on the other 8. There's 8 more to go, because there's 12 total. Or 9 more to go. I can't do math. I have 9 more to go, because there's 12 total. So this goes to track number 123. The next chapter is Frontierland. And this is turning out, Frontierland is the one with 136 tracks. And this has turned out to be probably the second biggest chapter of the whole collection. There's only one chapter that's going to have more tracks than this chapter. So here is all these liner notes I wrote over the course of several days this past month. It's not that easy to write about obscure things that no longer exist, and you know. But I edited all of these new images. Even some of the ones that I already had images for, I replaced with better images, or I cleaned up the ones that I was already using. And you can see all of the fun stuff I have planned for Frontierland. Also, there might be some things that weren't on this chapter before, because if something is on another chapter already that I thought would also be suitable for this chapter, I included it on this chapter as well. So even though everything that was already on this chapter is here, you're probably going to see already now, currently, some extra things that were already on other pages, but now they're also available here, because they all tie into the Frontierland theme. So see, this one has 136. Now the last chapter that I worked on so far is Tomorrowland 1970s and 1980s, which is chapter 17. And the reason we worked on this one is because it has sort of a strange, and why we skipped way ahead and didn't just do them all in order, is because this one has sort of a different thing going on at the end of the chapter. I'll show you what that is in a second. So this one, it was a little bit trickier to set up. So here are all the tracks for 1970s, 80s Tomorrowland, a whole America Sings section, Tomorrowland Stage, People Mover, Space Mountain, the Space Stage, More People Mover, Tomorrowland Terrace, Circle Vision, Magic Eye Theater, Captain EO, Star Tours, and now here is a special little area. This is going to be the Tomorrowland that never was, and this is the part of the chapter that's a little different from most of the other chapters. As you can see, it's a longer paragraph here because this covers a whole section of tracks. And there's 2 sections in this Tomorrowland that never was. One is Discovery Bay, and then the second section is Tomorrowland 2055. These are 2 different versions of concepts for either Tomorrowland or science fiction style areas in the park that never got built. So hence the Tomorrowland that never was. And this is where the chapter finishes off, chapter 17. And I'm currently working on chapter 18, which is present day Tomorrowland. It actually goes from 1998 to the present. 98 because that's when they they redid Tomorrowland in '98. So everything from that Tomorrowland redo up to the present is on chapter 18, which is the one that I am currently working on. I have to write all the liner notes for that. That's what takes a while, is all this writing that I have to do. And it's also tricky to fit everything into 4 lines in the available space. You notice how everything is 4 lines and it fits perfectly. That's sort of tricky too. That takes some time to word everything so that it fits in the proper amount of space. So there's a lot more to it than just writing. It's design, it's eyeballing, it's all sorts of things involved. So there you go. There you have it. That's what's going on with the Magical Audio Tour. And before we go, I'd like to again thank all of you for your continued support on everything that I do. I hope you all are staying healthy and happy, and I will see you all next month for the October update. And it's going to be a spooky one, I'm sure. So I'll talk to you all real soon. And stay magical. Bye-bye.